Hold on.
And how empowering it is?
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's one of my useless cousins. Stop. Salting. We're back.
We are back, baby. We are fucking back. We're back. Classic. We are back.
We are back. Season 7, Al. Episode 272 of the Sharp Real Estate. Sharp Stories. Sharp Stories. Just spat my bagel out on the table there. Today, as we are the first video of the beautiful new year, 2024, we're just going to do a slight higher level recap now that we have December numbers in, just to paint a picture and then do some forecasting, which are of course as usual going to be 100% right on what's going on. Spoken to a number of mortgage brokers this week, see what they're experiencing in the rates. There's been a few interesting reports going on, forecasting of what's going on with current mortgages with the anticipation of a rate decrease later this year. What that looks like, and then another little tidbit as property tax assessment values are on the street for 2024. So let's start at the start. So a full market recap here. Metro Vancouver, basically listing and sales both ended up 1.something% this year. Average days on market was down and by 10%, and benchmark pricing was 1.8 million. So benchmark pricing, Vancouver detached market is up 7.7% this year. So again, waiting did not pay, even in that very, I would say, tumultuous, it's a word I've used a few times online this week as well, year. Condos, same thing, listings and sales up in the 2% range, nothing big, but they're up. Average days on market also down. So we've picked up, not dramatically, but quite a bit since the doldrums of 2022. When, as we remember, March 2022 is when the rates started to jump up. So 2023 was a little nicer to us. If you were trying to transact, if you're out of the market, you've got problems because the pricing again here has gone up. Benchmark pricing for condos went up 5.6% in the Vancouver realm. At an average of 711,000, and then townhomes, listings down 6%, sales down 3%, average days down 3%, benchmark pricing up 6.4% to $1 million. So again, with those December numbers blended in, I know we did this for November, but it proves, again, the market is resilient. There are people out there that trust and believe in the real estate market here in beautiful British Columbia, and those prices are have continued to move. So very seldom still is there proof that waiting pays, Al, okay? Sales ratios, detached market for 2023 was a balanced market. Condo market for 2023, balanced market is 12.1%. Condo market 21, strong sellers market. Townhouse market 21%. Sales to active listings ratio, strong sellers market. So balanced to sellers through all of 2023. So rates obviously, as we know, continued in that time and paused for the last 3, if memory serves, meetings. So that's what it is. Benchmark movement detached, the best performing detached market in Metro Vancouver was Vancouver West. That's the west side. Oh, that's where you're going to find Lord Kitchener Elementary, Lord Byng Elementary, and the beauty of the neighborhoods that raised me. That was up 11.4% general. 3.4 million is the benchmark there. Lowest performing yield, Bowen Island, for those detached homes, down 9.6% year over year collective at 1.3 million. Not overly surprising when you've got the rigor of a climbing interest rate environment. Bowen Island still very much, even though has its perfect little micro economy of full-time residents, still looked at as a secondary market. So of course, when things are a little bit more hesitant out there, secondary markets get hit. So this is no surprise. Condos, highest benchmark winner, Whistler, 32.8% increase. to an average of 756,000, and the lowest yield Port Coquitlam at a measly 2.3% interest increase. 610 average benchmark condo price in Port Coquitlam. Townhomes, highest Sunshine Coast, 9.9% benchmark increase to 753,000, and lowest Pitt Meadows at minus 1.4. So the two worst performing markets, Detached in Bowen Island and townhomes in Pitt Meadows. So rates, again, speaking to a number of brokers this week, lots of applications in, lots of excitement. Obviously rates are still where they were. Fixed rates have come down quite a bit, and a lot of anticipation that the market is going to shift later on this year when these benchmark rates do start to shift down as well, which is the variable, which for some reason takes the most focus. That's basically because the Bank of Canada specifically sets it, and it's a lot more cut and dry, easy to understand. The fixed rates ties to the bond market, which is a bit more fluid and harder to understand, so that's that. But anyway, with that variable rate coming down, which is of course a Canadian favorite, Al, get in on that variable, as that was the tried and true for a number of decades. It's a busy market for them. So that's a good sign. People getting pre-approved, people getting ready to pull the trigger, people sitting on the fence, getting up on that fence and sitting and waiting and watching, and purchasing with anticipation that they're gonna beat the rush. You heard it here first. Fixed rate on average, big bank 5.19 right now for 5-year. Fixed or variable 5-year big bank around 6.4 right now. So what makes more sense? I personally wouldn't lock in for 5 years if I didn't have to at this point. It's gonna be my point next March, Al. That's when the old mortgage comes up and that early fixed rate number gets blended out. So that's what we're hearing from the brokers. There was an RBC forecast report. 60% of bank mortgages set to renew in the coming 3 years. That's 900 billion in mortgages due. Their forecast is 180 billion are going to turn over in 2024, 350 billion in 2025, and 400 billion in mortgages turning over in 2026. Now, those 2024, 2025 mortgages are expected to have payment schedules of roughly 30% higher, and those 2026 of roughly 48% higher. So those 2026 expiries are the biggest, most significant change group, as they were the groups that typically got in right at the bottom, those 1%, so those just over, and have been riding and are the biggest segment of the market running negatively amortizing loans or interest-only loans right now. So payments are being paid out with no principal payoff and sometimes negatively. So that segment turning over in 2026, and all of these really, if you are on a fixed or your term is coming up and you're planning on fixing or whatever, depending on where it is, again, anticipation is we're going to start dropping, I believe, Q3 this year. Mr. Macklem hasn't said anything in stone yet, but we all need to have our crystal balls. But anyway, those 2026s are the ones that look like they're going to get hit most, and if they do fix after that, they've been kind of hit the hardest all the way along. Now, there is not anticipation that we're going to be anywhere near back to the entry points of those guys, so that's, say, even under 2% by 2026. There's anticipation that there will definitely be movement down, but they will still be fixing at dramatically higher than they entered in back then. So save your shekels, Al, because it's going to be a little bit different next time around. But you got a long runway, so if you can hang on, hang on. Don't buy crypto, just save for that new fixed or variable rate mortgage as it comes. You've got a long runway. Until then, Bank of Canada, we have meetings January 24th, March 6th, April 10th, June 5th, July 24th, September 4th. That's when I'm going to put the pinpoint in where I think we're going to get that first drop. October 23rd, worst case scenario, is the next meeting I feel they're going to introduce the starting drops, and then December 11. So what's that? 3, 6, 8 meetings this year that they are going through. Next topic, property tax assessments are out. So as we all know how that works, you get your assessment, which is your assessed value, not your market value. Never let any realtor tell you otherwise. You get your assessed value. How do they come up with that? Comparables from the neighborhood is the story they come up with. Benchmark sales from the neighborhood, some governmental magic dust, all blended up together in the little bullet blender, and out comes your assessed value. So those assessments are all over the place this year, some up a little bit more than others, but not a huge increase for most of the Vancouver stuff that I've seen. And of course, with that assessed value, then the second most important is the mill rate layer, which we've discussed. So that ties to the government budget. So when your municipal government runs a deficit, as they all do because they are horrific at math, and they blow their budgets out of the water, and then the next year they come in and they need more money, which they're going to blow the water anyway. But when they do their budgeting layers over, that mill rate comes in, layers on top. I think it's about every $1,000 you owe X amount times your assessed value gives you your property tax amount. So you can try and dispute. I know a number of people who have tried. The mass majority of them have had no luck because the city does not care. You can definitely try though. Send in some comps and see how that works for you. But success rate on that is on the lower side. And again, just on that note, just as I saw it in the news a couple days ago, of course, the most expensive home yet again goes to Mr. Chip Wilson at 3085 Point Grey Road. That beautiful thing he's built there for now assessed at $81.8 million. So this is the biggest tax grab of all time, in my opinion, by the government here, as there's very little to comp that to get to something so astronomical. But that's up from his 2023 assessment, which was $74.1 million. So he went up apparently $7.7 million in market value last year, which is ridiculous. But just for some clarity on that, his 2023 assessed value being 74.1 gives him a property tax bill of $489,789. But never fear, that house is held in a corporation, so there's no pulling that $500,000 out, getting hit with your personal income tax bracket. Yet again, bat over the head by the government to then fill out that well protected, I'm sure, corporate money going out the side door. And no mortgage on that house either, Al. He's riding free and clear on that apparent $81 million market value. That's all I have. 12 minutes? It's better than normal. So this year will hopefully be a little different, hopefully a little bit more generally market positive, with that anticipation that the rates will be coming down, which is getting hit by most people. We're of course gonna have new plethoras of government layering with all this density BS going on, and how that's gonna help one group screw over another, feed the poor from the rich, yada, yada, yada. We're gonna have some guests this year, Al. So we're gonna mix it up a little bit. We haven't done that. We did that once, I think, once only, I think. But we're gonna do more of that this year, just to blend it up a little. I know I'd like to keep it exclusive, but we gotta introduce other people and keep it interesting. So we're gonna do that, so yeah. Welcome to 2024. I look forward to seeing you weekly again for another year. And with that, I will see you next week.